Hi. We're going to make some pecan caramel sticky buns. Now, it's basically a 3-part, 4-part recipe. And I'm going to try to put it all in the description, but I do have it right here. It's all written down, my recipe. So I'm going to do my best to put it in the description. Now, you might notice also I have different bowls for different purposes. Plastics are great for your anything that has to do with flour, when you're making cookie dough or bread or, cranberry breads, dinner rolls, stuff like that, because the plastic retains heat. And whereas with metal bowls I use for my frostings, my when I'm dipping chocolates, things like that, because it chills quick and easy, and it holds the cold better. So I have different purposes. I have all kinds of different bowls for different things. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make the caramel sauce. The reason we're going to make the caramel sauce is because the bread takes a while to rise, and we still have another process. So we're going to do the caramel first. What I've done is I've put approximately 2 cups of sugar, a couple dashes of salt. Now remember, we were making caramel the other day. The difference with this one is we are not going to cook it to 262 degrees. Once the sugar becomes caramel color, we're going to go ahead and add the water, get it bubbled back up. We're going to add the butter and the cream. And once I get everything mixed in real good, we're going to take it off the stove, because it's got to go in the bottom of the pan that our sticky buns are going to go in, and we're going to lay it with the pecans. Remember, when you're making caramel sauce, use a wooden spoon only. Do not use metal or plastic. Didn't quite look like 2 cups to me, so. Got some sugar burning on my oven, on my stove here. Let me get this all. Okay, I'm going to come back on in just a minute once it starts caramelizing. Remember, don't leave your sugar unattended, because it will scorch and burn. Okay, so as you see, our sugar is melting down. It's a golden brown. That's where you want it to look. You don't want it much darker than that. Once the water hits it and you put it back on the stove, it's going to bubble up and it's going to start looking a little darker. But don't worry, because it will all lighten up once you put the butter and your cream in there. Okay? So I'm going to put this back on the stove. I'm going to add the water, and you're going to put between 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup water. Start with 1/4 cup first, and then if you need to add a little bit more as it's boiling down and the sugar is finally melting, go ahead and add the remaining little bit of water. Okay? Okay, so I've added the water, and as you can see, the sugar is slowly softening back up, and it will finish dissolving. Just make sure you keep moving it around periodically so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot and scorch. Okay? Okay, so we're going to let this go ahead and boil down. Let the sugar all dissolve. And I'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so as you see, the syrup has liquefied now. So I'm going to add the butter, and then I'm going to add the cream. Put this back here. Now the butter is going to be about 1/4 of a stick. And remember, it is going to bubble up when you put the butter in. We do not want it to, get to 300-degree temperature like you're making a taffy. Okay, just so you can see. So we've got the butter in there. It's bubbling. So you want to take it off. And now we're going to add cream. And start with about 1 cup. Mix that in and see how that looks when it's done mixing all in. Okay? Should look just like this. Saucy, nice caramel color, perfect texture that you want it to be. You want it to be like this because it's going to bake into your sticky buns. Okay, so let me get my pan. Now this is my pan. It is a wedding cake pan, but if you don't have one that large, you can always just get a large disposable pan. Now, I'm going to save some of that caramel in case we want to add it on top of our sticky buns, right? So this is what it looks like, right? And now we're going to put 2 cups of our chopped pecans in there. Now, people, I'm not measuring it, so I could very well be shaking in 3 cups for all I know. We're just going to shake them in so they very generously cover the bottom of the pan. Because you want your pecan rolls, sticky buns you want to have pecans. And we still have enough left for when we get ready to chop them down to go inside of our sticky bun. So let me show you what it looks like now. See? Okay, so that's the first phase. Give me a minute to clean up, and then we'll go on to the second.